Now, Michael Shermer has talked a little bit about what science proves and doesn't prove. Interestingly, in the last 100 years, modern science has made some spectacular discoveries that affirm and support the idea of a creator, and in some ways, the specifically Christian idea of a creator. I want to tell you about one of these this evening. In recent decades, some leading scientists have asked a very interesting question. They have noted that our universe, not our planet, by the way, our universe, operates according to a whole series of very precise and discrete numerical values. For example, if you look at the hydrogen atom, the mass of the proton is 1,836 times the mass of the electron. And then you have the gravitational force that's so strong, and the electromagnetic force, and the strong nuclear force, and the so-called electroweak force. One physicist, Lee Smolin, he says, you can sort of imagine God sitting at a desk with a whole bunch of different dials. And here's the question. What if some scientists were to sneak into the room and when God is not looking, move the dials a little bit, change those numerical values, not a lot, just a little? The scientists who look at this question, a question, by the way, addressed in Stephen Hawking's A Brief History of Time, Hawking notes that if you touch one of the dials, he's talking about the rate of expansion of the universe, and you move it, not 10%, not 1%, but 1 part in 100,000 millionth million, you would have no universe, you would have no life. The entire universe has to be as big as it is and as old as it is and have exactly the values it does, because if it didn't, we wouldn't be having this conversation. In a sense, the entire universe appears to be a giant conspiracy to produce, well, us. Now, Michael Shermer has, in a sense, distorted this argument in a rather clever way. He has said, out of the many galaxies and planets, hundreds and millions of them, it's not surprising we inhabit the lucky planet. That's not my argument. My argument applies not to our happy planet, that we happen to be so far from the sun, and it's lucky that we breathe out carbon dioxide and the plants breathe it in. No, I'm talking about the entire universe. How can you explain that the entire universe with all its planets has to be just the way it is for us to be able to contemplate such a universe? This finding, which is sometimes called the fine-tuning of the universe, has put modern atheism completely on the defensive, because it suggests in a way that is completely immune to Darwinian attack. Remember that Darwinism does not explain the universe. Darwinism does not even explain life. Darwinism presumes life and then explains the transition from one life form to another. So here is an argument that in a sense explains design, not by invoking some gap. There's no gap. In fact, it is the positive findings of modern science that are pointing us to the fact that the universe has a beginning. The universe is constructed in such a way that there is no better explanation than that this intelligently designed universe was designed by an intelligent designer. This is not a critique of Darwin or evolution. It is an argument at a different level. It sort of operates this way, that if you look at nature, there is enormous intelligence embodied in the laws of nature. The great scientists of our time, Newton, Kepler, Galileo, Einstein, spend all their ingenuity to excavate or decode the intelligence mysteriously imprinted into, you might say, matter. And my question is a simple one. If the great scientists are spending their lives decoding the intelligence out of nature, who put it there? Who encoded it? How did it get there? Why do we even have a universe? What is the cause for which the universe is the effect? I want to suggest that it is precisely the inquiring scientific habit of mind that makes us ask these questions. We are not talking about the God of the gaps. In fact, I'll go further. We're going to see in this debate that frequently, when science can't explain something, Michael Shermer will resort to something I will call the atheism of the gaps, which is, be patient, we'll explain later. What I'm trying to say is, we've got to go with what we know now. We can't presume that science will do this or won't do that. Maybe science will come up with new proofs against religion. Maybe it will go the other way. But from what we know now, modern science not only does not refute, in many ways it affirms the existence of God. Thank you.